Hello, welcome back to another edition of Charting with Martin, and I have a very special guest with me today. It is the international best-selling author and good friend of mine, I'm glad to say, DG Torrens, big author of Amelia's Story, Amelia's Destiny, The Poppy Fields, and so much more. You've got about 20 odd titles under your belt, haven't you, DG?
27 with the next
27.
book coming out.
Wow. Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yes, it's wonderful to have you. Obviously, as intrigued me to have you on the show, DG, is you've got quite a few 80s music connections in some of your writing within them 27 books. So one that intrigued me, of course, was Blondie Atomic. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that one, how that features in the writing?
Okay, so in my Survivor series, there's like 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for a girl. I'm up to 3 for a girl, and I've already started penning 4 for a boy. But in 3 for a girl, which is on pre-order right now, by the way, guys, for another few weeks.
There you go. Get out there, pre-order it, guys.
It's set between around 1977 and the early 80s, up until around 83, 84. And it follows these teenagers. But where the music comes in is there's a lot of journeying, car journeys and music backdrops with it, which the songs have been perfectly chosen for the scenes in the film. Blondie Atomic, it's an iconic song, and it's such a stand, isn't it? She's making a stand with that song, which is very important to my character Grace in a scene, which I don't want to give away too much, because if I give away that scene, it kind of gives away a lot of the story. But it's very important, very integral to a specific scene within 3 for a Girl. And that was just when I was searching for the right song, the right tone, the right kind of message, there was an element of the message which kind of fit in with this scene. So Blondie Atomic was just the perfect choice. I actually love the song myself anyway.
So I love Blondie song, actually, that one.
Yes, it's one of mine as well. I love a bit of Blondie. So that's how that happened.
Okay, so tell us about the Survivor series. It feels like that they're obviously going through the old song of the magpies, one for...
Yeah, the symbolism is the whole magpie situation. So at the moment, this may change, there's 7, but it might go on to 8 for a wish, 9 for a kiss, up to number 10. It might be a 10-book series, but at the moment it's a 7-book series. I've already started penning book 4 for a boy. I've written 1, 2, 3. Book 3 is on pre-order now. It's under the umbrella of a Survivor series. Each book will tackle some sort of abuse. It could be covert narcissism. A character has to survive that. It could be institutional abuse. It could be financial abuse. It could be mental health abuse. Childhood neglect, childhood abuse. So each book will tackle one of those. And each novel within the umbrella of the Survivor series is a standalone story tied together with each book telling and highlighting a story of abuse, and not just from a woman's point of view or a child's point of view, but also from a man's point of view, because men suffer domestic violence too. And I wanted to make that very clear in the series, because it's often not highlighted enough, I don't think. So book 2, for instance, 2 for Joy, follows the main character, this gorgeous, lovely man who's just lost his brother. So he's a businessman, works for charities, and he kind of gets blindsided by, you could say, a Black Widow type woman.
Okay.
And she also has a twin sister.
Ooh.
And the twin sister is like the good one, and she's the bad one.
Right.
And she's making men pay for the sins of her father, because because their mother committed suicide when they were young, and there's these opening scenes which are quite dramatic, and she struggled mentally and hates all men because of that, because she watched her mom being systematically beaten, and it was the soundtrack to their childhood. So now she's kind of got this vengeance against all men, that they're all the same. However, her sister is completely different and doesn't feel that way. She's more balanced, more logical, and realizes that no, not all men are like that, So her sister is the one that kind of tries to save this guy in the end. There is death, a surprise baby, a friends to lovers, just about escaping prison. There's a terrible financial abuse, and it brings in a guy, another character, a side character called Oliver, who was a terrible victim of her ensnarement. Right. And he did lose everything. And he did go to prison, and he was ruined financially. His reputation was completely obliterated. Everybody believed her. You know, she had she planned it out and was setting the scene long before he knew there was even anything wrong in their relationship. And now she's doing the same again with the actual main character of the story. And it's now about him trying to survive her false allegations, which are quite awful, you know, of domestic violence. There's none at all, and all that kind of stuff. And he's got to prove his innocence, which becomes exceptionally difficult. So that's that one, book 2.
It sounds a very compelling story, that one. But go on, carry on.
Book 3.
Yeah.
This has had to come with so many trigger warnings.
So we've got 3 books out at the moment of the series, and book 4 is ready to be.
Yes, it's in. Yes, book 4's in the works already. Yeah. Quite way into as well. So book 3 is called 3 for a Girl.
Yeah.
And this is about 3 sisters, and the book starts with a news report. It's 1977, BBC News, tragic car accident in Worcester. 2 people tragically loses their lives, leaving behind 3 children, 3 teenagers, all girls. 3 for a Girl. But that's not just where the 3 is tied in. Yeah, there's 3 sisters, but when they're separated, I'll tell you about that in a minute. So the 3 sisters now are homeless with the fear of going into care. But a social worker discovers that there's a long distant uncle, horrible man, really horrible man. You know, he treats his wife badly, never wanted anything to do with his brother. But because of his wife's persistence, who could never have children, she literally begs him, please, can we take on the girls and give them a chance? Don't let them go into care. He agrees to take the 2 younger teenagers, but not Grace, who's 14.
Right.
There's a more terrible fate ahead for her. So it follows these 3 girls' story, but so they've all got major plot lines within. Grace, however, ends up going to Billingford House. Now, if you know anything about, I've kept it as real as possible, actually. If you know anything about institutional children's homes of the 1970s, they were god-awful places. Yeah. Well, there was a certain type of children's home, a lot of people don't know this, that were privately run children's homes to cater for the overflow of state-run children's homes, because they were rampant, packed. They had nowhere to send these other kids. And that's where these private-run ones came into, you know, into reality kind of thing. Paid an absolute fortune, you know, thousands of pounds a year for each child. And the money never went down to the child. They rarely had clothes or anything like that, you know, had 1 clothing allowance a year just to get 1 set of clothes type of thing. So Grace is sent to Billingford House, but there's a really dark evil going on there.
Right.
And it's run by an evil, horrible, cruel woman called Miss Emery and her assistant called Mrs. Peterson. There are security guards in place as well, but not for the safekeeping of the girls, quite the opposite. Right. But the Billingford House has 3 floors. Each floor, 3 bedroom floors. The ground floor, the girls on the ground floor are not allowed to mix with the rest of the girls in the house, who lead a pretty ordinary day-to-day life under strict rules. But the girls on the ground floor have a completely different set of rules to live by. They cannot dine with the other girls. They cannot mix with the other girls. And they are sent to the cottage in turn every other night. The cottage is adjacent to Billingford House, and that's where the evil goes on. And basically, they are rented out, sold out. Taken to the cottage where they spend weeks, to judges, MPs, and God knows what else. It's kind of similar to a true story that happened in this country. Okay. But this is fiction. But there's a very similar story that some people might resonate with. So anyway, Grace, once the girls reach a certain age, they move to the ground floor. Then they have to take their turn, but they don't know what's happening to them because they just wake up one morning. They've got no recollection where they've been for days. They've hardly been fed. They've been heavily drugged, and they wake up with bruises and no memory and in pain, and they don't know what's happened to them. All they remember is being escorted to the cottage and then waking up back on the ground floor. So you can imagine what's going on there. Anyway, these three girls, Grace, Asher and Rose, another three, become best friends and try and protect each other from what's going on. Okay. And awful things happen to the point where if you go against or even try and stand up to Miss Henry, she has you sent to a psychiatric hospital where she's in cahoots with the main boss who runs that. Yeah. So they're in cahoots together because all these people are tied to the cottage at Billingford House. So you can see it's all there's an amazing dramatic ending, and Grace becomes a bit of a hero.
Don't tell us the ending. Don't tell us.
I'm not telling the ending. It's quite, but there's a lot of 80s great music. I mean, there's a lot of 70s music in there as well, but that's, obviously, I mean, the 70s part of it, and it moves on because it's over a 5-year period, but you have some great music that seeks out scenes, that brings in scenes, that's a backdrop for some really incredible scenes that I've incorporated within the story. Yeah. But it's another survivor story. That's a childhood institutionalized abuse survivor story, but non-fiction. But the subject matter, there's nothing non-fiction about the subject matter.
It sounds fascinating and compelling. Like you say, sadly, we do know from things that are released so many years later and people's stories so many years later, there is some truth in the processes and the evil processes, if I can call it that, and the abuse and everything. It was sadly a real phenomenon, wasn't it? Well, a real thing.
It really was. I know things changed.
Do you feel, DJ, that you're sort of telling the story on behalf of others generically? A little
100%, especially with book 3 and book 1, because I put a piece of myself in every single story, if you know. So one of my characters has got not a lot, but has got a little bit of my own backstory.
Okay.
In a couple of the books. So I've just given them pieces of my own backstory, which is very easy. So I'm
you write about what you know, don't you? That's the thing.
They write about what you know. Exactly. Yeah, but I feel that I wanted, with this series, I wanted to shine a light on these things. Yeah. I just think it's really important, but not just for everybody, for men, for women, for children, and for elder people as well, who get completely obliterated by family, who fight over their finances and stuff and don't care. And so I've covered every kind of aspect, I think, and every kind of person, whether it's male, female, young or old, will feature throughout this series somewhere. So I've covered everything and shone a light on so many various.
Shone a light on everyone. A story for everyone, shone a light on everyone. Well, that it does sound fascinating. So Grace, then, Atomic was the song that kind of helped her. Or it was part of the story for her anyway. It certainly resonates with the character, Grace.
100%.
But the 80s music connections don't stop there, ladies and gentlemen. So, DG, I believe the band Queen, good old Freddie, of course, a fantastic frontman, obviously a legendary, iconic band. Tell me a little bit about how Queen feature in the books.
Well, again, this one's again in 3 for a Girl. There's this great scene. I absolutely love this scene. And she breaks free. The social worker.
Breaks free. There's a Queen song. I want to break free.
Break free. Well, this social worker who features, a really lovely social worker who features heavily towards the end of the book, wants to do everything she can to help these girls who are trapped, but she has to have proof because she's her whole world and livelihood is at stake as well to prove that she's wrong. So she manages to break one of the characters, it's actually Jess, one of Grace's friends, free for the day under the guise of an assessment, which has to be away from the staff. It has to be independent. And she takes her to a cafe, but it's quite a long journey to the next town. So this social worker really comes out of herself and she says, "Do you
Yeah.
like music, Jess?" And Jess is like, "Oh, I love music, but we're not allowed to have music at Billingford House. They don't allow music. I
Wow.
haven't heard it for so long." And the social worker goes, "Well, that is just a crying shame that we need to change right this instant." And she cranks up the old, she's in a, what do you call those, Beetle cars?
Oh
The
yeah,
old 70s,
the old
the
Volkswagen
seven,
Beetle cars. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, the old Volkswagen Beetles from the 70s. And she's turning the knob and the song crackles on. Remember the old radios from the, not the 70s, sorry, the early 80s. And
yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
crackles on, yeah. And the radio comes on and Queen comes on.
Oh, okay.
And oh gosh, so she takes her hair out and she's rocking as she's driving down this country road. And Jess,
Yeah.
this teenager's wide-eyed in awe of this woman and it's a moment where she's never felt so free in her life,
Wow.
just to be her without any
Yeah.
repercussions. And the social worker looks at her and says, "What do you think of this song?" And she goes, "I love it. I love it." And she says, "You are allowed to sing along." And that was it. She lets herself go. She's screaming this word so loud with the window wound down.
Yeah.
And the freedom, I explained this unbelievable release of freedom that Jess feels that she hasn't felt for many, many years. And the song kind of releases that inner, real, free Jess.
She said
and
she feels really liberated through which music can do for all of us, can't it? It
100%.
it can liberate us. It can take us back to a moment in time, and etc. etc. which obviously it does. So what is the Queen song? Which one is it?
We will rock you.
Okay.
Sorry, everybody.
So is it We Will Rock You or Another One Bites the Dust?
Oh, sorry. It might be another one, but sorry, yes, I'm getting mixed up because there's two songs in there.
Yeah,
There's two songs in the book by Queen. It's Another One Bites the Dust.
And I believe
Another
that's
one
it.
bites.
I know there's a lot of Queen songs because Under Pressure features as well, doesn't it? The one with David Bowie. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you tell me then, which of them three Queen songs would you like? What would you like us to play?
Oh God, that's a hard one because which one would you like to play? Under Pressure. Coming down on me. Okay, don't stop. Okay, another one bites the dust.
Another One Bites the Dust. Okay, here it is. Queen. Another One Bites the Dust. An inspiration, in part, with lots of other 80s music for the Survivor series by G.G. Torrens.